Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another Distress Oxide blending combo video. I thought I was done with these, but I'm not because Tim Holtz came out with a brand new color called Speckled Egg, and I thought it was time to break out all those blending tools and give you just 4 color combo examples. So this first one uses Speckled Egg, which is the new color. It's the one I'm using right now. It's like kind of like this kind of dusty aqua. It's a really interesting shade. It kind of morphs with whatever colors are around it. I've got peacock feathers and also chip sapphire. So my chip sapphire ink pad was super dry. So I decided to re-ink it. In fact, I had to re-ink a couple of colors while I was filming this video. And now at this point, I'm wondering if I really needed to re-ink it because the ink isn't soaking in. And usually when you have a really dry ink pad, you can put the re-inker on and it immediately starts soaking in. So I let it sit for a little bit and then I kind of got impatient and thought, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and try it. And it was super wet. Look at that. It's so solid. And I thought I'd ruined my blending, but I persevered and it actually worked out really well. I just did not go back to that ink pad again. I used the color that was already on the blending tool and I kind of like smushed off some of the extra onto a piece of paper. Then I came back in with peacock feathers and I blended that and it actually worked really well. And it's sort of uh, I guess it would prove my theory that I've had since I did all these blending combos, which is the more ink you have on the surface of your paper, the easier it is to blend. So I found that to be very true while doing this. Adding all of that chip sapphire really got the peacock feathers and chip sapphire to blend really well together. I thought it was really beautiful. So I added those colors on and then I went back to speckled egg. You can kind of see, especially with the lighter colors, you could almost see a little bit of the white of the cardstock coming through. And I wanted to get to the point where I couldn't see the white cardstock coming through anymore. So I just kept blending and adding more and more ink onto the cardstock. And here's the point where it starts to look a little bit better. I just wanted solid color up there at the top. Blending those colors a little bit together and also getting rid of any little finger smudge marks. So here's my very first blend. I think it's actually really beautiful. It reminds me of the ocean or the sky. It looks really great. Okay, here's a color combination that I really wanted to try out and I wasn't sure if it would work. I got a couple of those in this video today. I've got speckled egg, seedless preserves, and picked raspberry. And this one almost has a little bit of a rainbow effect going because this is not monochromatic at all. I'm going for 3 very different colors. They do tend to blend together really well, but I had to work at it. So here's another color that was looking really dry. So I grabbed my re-inker and I re-inked this one as well. And this one you can see it absorbs. So I could tell that I really did need to add more ink on this. So I think my chip sapphire, I'm just gonna have to let it soak for a while. And if it stays that really juicy, I'll have to wipe it on some paper and get rid of some of that ink. So those colors blend so well together. I love seedless preserves to pick raspberry. It's one of my most favorite blends. So I'm coming back in with more speckled egg. I'm bringing that color down since the seedless preserves kind of overtook everything and really trying to get these colors to blend together because sometimes you really have to work at it. Sometimes the blends don't come really easy and right off the bat. The colors that are next to each other on the rainbow or like variations on the same color, those tend to blend really, really well. It's just more forgiving. But if you're going from, one color to a very different color, you're going to have to work at that blend. So don't give up, keep blending. Distressed oxides are very forgiving when it comes to that because you can go over things, multiple times and continue that blend. On to the third combo, which is one that I thought would work out a little bit better than it did. And you'll see here what I mean. I thought it would go from this light speckled egg to evergreen bough to broken china. I thought broken china would be a little bit more intense, but it really wasn't. I think the evergreen bough was a little bit darker and more intense. So it's a little bit of a different blend for me where it goes from lighter on each end and it gets a little more intense in the center. And my other blends weren't like that as much. So just going back and forth. Now these colors, because they're blues and greens and right next to each other on the rainbow, do tend to blend a little bit better than the last example. And you can see that I don't have to work at this one quite as long. It comes together much faster. So here's my third combo for today: Speckled Egg, Evergreen Bough, and Broken China. My last blend is a really different one, and I really wanted to push myself. So I'm using Speckled Egg, Ripe Persimmon, and Walnut Stain. And like I mentioned before, these colors are very different, so they're going to be challenging to blend. And I already knew going to this that they would be a little bit of a challenge. I'm bringing that Speckled Egg about halfway down, coming in with Ripe Persimmon. And the color that I get when I blend Ripe Persimmon and Speckled Egg together is really interesting. Where the Speckled Egg came down, you can see it's still a little bit orangey, but almost more brown. And then where the Ripe Persimmon is just directly on the white cardstock, you get that bright, intense orange shade. So as I start to blend the Walnut Stain coming up more toward the center, I'm going to try to meet where Walnut Stain, bring Walnut Stain all the way up to where I ended Speckled Egg, because that bright orange wasn't really allowing me to blend everything. So I'm trying to bring up that Walnut Stain quite a bit. Then I'm going to come back in with Ripe Persimmon and add that intense orange. Now this turned out to be one of my favorite blends of the day. It's unusual, and I think it's really, really pretty. Has a very nature feel to it, going from blue to like an intense orange and then brown. And it worked really, really well. But I did go over that Ripe Persimmon multiple times to try to bring that intensity back. But I love how it turned out in the end. It just required a little bit more blending. Isn't that an interesting combo? Almost looks like rust or something. So here are all 4 color combos. Don't forget to use the hashtag Christina's Oxide Combos if you try out these swatches or even put them on your projects. Just share them over at Instagram. Thanks so much for joining me today. Speckled Egg came out in a bunch of different products, including the brand new glazes. Can't wait to try that out. Thanks for watching today, and I will catch you guys in another video very soon.